sorts of things. So we've got you, and we've got it up for our television viewers. Nadine Lajoie joins us today here on the program. Nadine, how are you doing on this fabulous Sunday?
Yeah, I'm doing excellent, and thank you very much for having me on the show.
Now, let's talk a little bit. We've had you on the broadcast in the past. You are a very, very, very well-educated individual. Tell us a little bit about your background, because I know I'm, especially on Radio Xenu, in our chat room, I'm going to get S-hammered today. What is the background of Nadine, and I detect an accent. Give us all the information here, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Lately, since 2003 to 2011, I was a champion motorcycle racer. So that is kind of my hook. A lot of people get excited about that. But before that, I was a businesswoman. I'm a businesswoman since 18 years, and I was a financial planner, so that's why I was able to semi-retire at the age of 36 and retired completely at the age of 41, and being able actually to help a lot of my clients. I coach over 800 clients in my life in the business, in the financial, and also now as a coach and as a speaker, I'm coaching people also to accomplish what I do. So I'm traveling all over the world. I arrived from South Africa, so that was really fun, and I went to speak in Nigeria also in November. So it's really about realizing your dreams and taking action, and it's really my motto, is just taking action, like motorcycle racing. Don't think, and just go in the corner and just having fun.
Nadine Lajoie joins us today here on the big broadcast. NadineRacing.com is her official website, and the topic today is suicide rates climb. We've got the world-renowned leadership speaker. We play her Racing to Success minutes each and every day on our other program over there on TalkRadioX.com, and we're happy to have her today joining us here on Skype. And Nadine, are people waiting until it's too late to talk about suicide? Give me your thoughts on this.
Yes, it's maybe, but I as my experience, because I almost committed suicide when I was the age of 25, and I talk about it, and I was giving some clues and all that, but you know what? People are so busy that just goes from one ear to the other. And a lot of people, when they want to commit suicide, they leave some clues. They tell people, oh, maybe tomorrow I will not be there, or they don't make plans, they don't have goals, they don't have dreams, and they are kind of just bored about the life. And when you see that into people, it's really, really important that you listen to them, and that's what saved my life.
Nadine Lajoie joins us today here on the big broadcast, and we're talking in this first segment here about a topic that is very important to our listeners and very important to everybody in general, and that is suicide. Suicide rates are climbing. They're growing at an alarming rate every year. From 99 to 2000, the suicide rate among Americans ages 35 to 64 rose by nearly 30% to 17.6 deaths per 100,000 people, up from 13.7. This is the reason we've got Nadine Lajoie with us today. She started Keep Dreaming, Keep Living, which is a nonprofit organization to help against suicide and depression. Tell me about Keep Dreaming and Keep Living.
Thank you for asking. And you know, all my life changed in 2007. As I said, I was semi-retired. And I traveled 21 states by myself with the RV and sleeping in truck stop and parking lot and Walmarts. But I was also on a spiritual quest, and that mission really hit me about being able to share my story, my experience, to inspire people, because now I have so much success in business, in life, in music, in racing, in volleyball. But that little story about the suicide, that for the first 25 years of my life, I always said, if at 25 it's not better, I will kill myself.
Wow.
And that last night in 95, I called my mom. It was about 2:30 in the morning. I was crying on my couch. I wanted to commit suicide, trying to find a way to get out. And that TV show really saved my life, because the woman, she said, and it's Jeannette Bertrand. It's kind of the Oprah Winfrey in Quebec, and she said, "You can do it, but you need to call at least one friend."
Nadine,
so that's what I did.
Nadine, hold just a second. We have been joined in studio by Israel, and he has brought himself a local Wichita artist, and we're going to. We are nationwide, worldwide today on Radio Xenu, also TalkRadioX.com, and KJagRadio.com as well. And we're talking here with Nadine Lajoie about suicide rates, and we've got Israel, my good, close, personal, longtime friend. I don't know what to call you. Are you the shaman of hip hop? I don't know.
I prefer the term raptivist.
Oh, okay, he's a raptivist.
That's rapper / activist.
Well, let's do this. Nadine, finish up what you were saying there about keep dreaming, keep living, your nonprofit. While I get some things set up here, and then we're going to bring Israel and everybody else into the conversation. So go ahead and jump in there, my friend.
Yeah, so the Keep Dreaming, Keep Living, it's really about that story and being able to share the story, because I am a speaker all over the world and barely nobody talks about it, or when people talk about it, it's about prevention. But the problem is when you are depressed, when you have that big hole inside, you cannot explain it. And you are not ready to go to suicide prevention, and you are not ready to go to personal growth or spiritual awakening. So there are a lot of people, they are kind of in between, they are just going with the life and they are not really happy. And that's my goal because of my music, my racing, my sports. It's really being able to connect with people and share that story to really change their lives.
Well, Nadine Lajoie joins us today here on the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience, and she's an international award-winning entrepreneur. She's the author of the #1 bestseller, Win the Race of Life. And Israel, jump in there, my friend. I know that.
Nadine, how you doing?
Very good. Hi, Israel.
I'm fine. I love the way you say my name.
I know. I love her accent.
I love your accent, and you could talk about dog poop and not listen. So I'm sure that everybody's listening to what you're saying. And speaking of suicide, one thing that surprised me was the high number of suicides of African American males age 40 plus. Like when I seen that stat, I was like, wow, that's alarming to say the least. And that kind of started me on a personal spiritual journey to just kind of find out what's causing what causes a person to want to take their own life. And I'll say that one thing I had to do in my research was find my happy place, because when you're researching such a topic, it can get very grim at times, and heavy for you to deal with. So for you to be able to tackle this topic for other people to benefit from, I commend you for that, first of all.
Thank you very much. And there is a lot of stigma around suicide because of a lot of people think that's only because of mental health problem, or that is only for teenagers under 25 years old. But as you said, there is a lot of male, like 55 years old and more. There's a lot of veterans, and as you said, African American men. It's really amazing, and people don't pay attention enough to that. And that's why I started my nonprofit. And I really want people, when they have a problem, to really call a friend, call a service, call SOS, suicide, or things like that. And that is why I want to share with you that song that I really love from Carole King, one of my favorite, to really remind you this. When you're down and trouble and you need some loving care, and nothing is going right, you've got a friend, oh yeah, you've got a friend, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love Carole King, and I love you too now.
Thank you. So really my message is, you have a friend. I can be your friend. People around you are your friend. Just just go reach out and just ask questions. And people, when somebody reach out to you, just listen to them. Don't say nothing, don't judge, don't say nothing, just listen.
I went to Wichita State University here in Kansas, which is only the greatest university ever. Go Shots, because we're undefeated. I just thought I'd put that out there. But one day I was on campus, and I've always been a pretty sociable guy. And this guy, I didn't know him, and we just somehow started striking up a conversation. And I asked him, how are you doing? And he said, I'm all right. And just his response didn't tell me he was all right. It told me that was a programmed answer. So I stopped it. It caught my attention. I asked him, I was like, are you saying you're all right? Or are you actually just, giving a programmed response? So we kind of started talking, and he started telling me, some of the things that was going on in his life. And I was, trying to be positive. I mean, I just told him to smoke reefer, and then it'll be all right. And because that's pretty much my answer for everything. But, we talked for a moment, and then like a couple of days later, man, I seen him, and he came up to me. He's like, hey, can I buy you lunch so I could talk to you? So I'm like, all right, cool. I was just trying to make sure he wasn't trying to hit on me. And so he bought me lunch, which was perfect because I had the munchies at the time. And we talked, and he told me that he was feeling really down, that he had, he reaffirmed to me some of the things he was talking about, and he told me that he was considering suicide, and that I was the only person who actually stopped to talk to him about anything, being a complete stranger, and it gave him more positive outlook, and things started turning around. So, I say that to everybody who's listening, because we have what is it, like 4 or 5 billion listeners now, Jiggy?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they just don't know it yet.
Yeah. So talking about 4 or 5 billion listeners who don't know it yet. Like, yeah, man, you got to remain positive. Like, one thing that I'll say is stop listening and watching the news. Don't do it. Just turn the news off. Like, it just irritates me. I noticed one day I'm sitting there and I'm watching the news, and by the time the news went off, I went from feeling great and just wanting to know what the weather was to feeling like the world was coming to an end. And it can be very depressing. So stay away from the news and be kind to everybody you talk to. Not just the hot chicks with foreign accents. We got to be we got to be nice to everybody. But
that's right.
Mainly hot chicks with foreign accents first. But everybody else can be too, right? That's fair, right?
Yeah, and then thank you so much, Israel, for saving that person's life. And just a little things like that, just asking more questions, just really connecting with people. That's what the people want. And a lot of people, they think when the people said, I want to commit suicide, is just to get attention. Yes, it is to get attention, because they are trying to find a way to save their life. And you are there, everybody is there to help each other and really connect with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't afford to get him a therapist, but I did turn him on to my marijuana dealer. And they made a good connection. I think he's happier now. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I didn't do anything to save him. I just did what was in my heart, which is to be a good person, you know what I mean? And luckily for him, he caught me on a Tuesday, because I'm only a good person on Tuesdays and Thursdays of leap year odd weeks. That's it. So other than that, though, he got lucky.
He got lucky.
Yeah, because if it would have been like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, even week, I don't know.
It'd have been over for him.
It'd have been different. Yeah, I'd have been in my thug mode, like my Tupac mode. I listen to Tupac on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I listen to like CC Winans on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You gotta balance it out.
Funny guy. Oh my God.
Well, Nadine,
I didn't even drink yet, so that should be fun going out with you.
Absolutely. I always eat crackers before I drink. That way, it's considered communion. We got all my bases covered.
That's awesome.
And I never drink and drive either. Just at stop signs and red lights. I sip and roll. I don't drink and drive.
You sip and roll.
Yeah.
Love that.
You can't drink and drive, so I just sip and roll. Works for me.
Works for you. There you go. Well, Nadine, I appreciate you being with us today. It's NadineRacing.com, correct?
Yes.
I love it.
Fantastic. Nadine, thanks for being with us, and we'll talk soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And for people who want some help, you have a 1 hour free coaching session online, and you can set up your dreams, your racing system. And when you have dream, that's where you are able to overcome those ideas of suicide. So visit Nadine.